Hello, welcome to Talking About Speedway. My name's Graeme Sinden. My special guest on today's program is one of Queensland's top 410 sprint car competitors, Dylan Menz. Before I introduce Dylan, let's take a look at some recent footage of his new revamped workshop in Queensland.
Hey guys, just thought I'd run you through what we've been doing in the off season. Obviously we've been busy prepping cars. We got our Darwin car here, and depending on how that goes will depend on if we continue on to Toowoomba with that or if we move over to our new car. So yeah, we've just been putting everything together, and you know, the shed's nice and clean now because all the parts are in the cars or in the truck or in the rack, and so it's perfect time to show you what we've been doing and the changes that we've made in the shed. We've got a lot of upgrades we've done, some granny flat stuff with bathrooms, a new sim room, and also some tyre prepping stations, which we'll show you. You know, we've got our midget up on the mezzanine, so you know, there's lots of things I'd like to run you through and just show you what we're about. So this is our brand new car. If we're running locally at Toowoomba and we wreck the car that we're starting with, we can just come home, put a motor in this, and obviously with the Australian title being in Toowoomba, we want to be fully prepped, that we don't have to be rushing, and it's just turn up, put the motor in this car and then take it back to Toowoomba and continue on. You know, this thing's pretty well brand new, start to finish. And yeah, just that's why we're not going to take it to Darwin, because Darwin is known, you know, you got to rip the fence at Darwin, so it's quite easy to wreck a car. That's why we're taking our sort of older stuff to Darwin, and yeah, just see how we go. So this is a cool addition that we've added to our program. It's a little whiteboard, simple but you know, effective. Yeah, what we can do is on any car, we'll just put that on, you know, take it off, write a list of what needs to be done in between each race. Just trying to elevate, no mistakes, like elevate our race program so that if nothing's missed, basically, we can change oil, you know, service rear end, service driveline, whatever needs to be done, and it doesn't get rubbed off until it's done. So any of the boys, we've got Sean, Dad, myself, Nick, all of us will work on the car at different times. So any of us can go up to a car and go, that's what needs to be done, wipe it off once we've done it, and then if we haven't done the other things, at least when the next guys come in, they can do what the list says, just to eliminate any mechanical failures, hopefully. Another addition to the shed is this tyre stand. So basically, you don't need a rim, and you can pump it up to replicate a rim. So at the moment it's set at a 17-inch wide rim, and then you pump it up to your tyre pressure, be that whatever you run, and then you can you know, run the stagger out on it. And you know, this one runs out to 105. So what we then do is we'll put a little marking on here to say, you know, 105 inch. So that when we're picking the tyres that we're going to race with on the track, we can pick the exact right rear and left rear to get the desired stagger that Nick wants to run. And then, yeah, once you're done, you basically just let the air out. So yeah, once the air's out, you just pull that out, pull this off, and then you basically pull this cap off, and then, yeah, the whole tyre can come off, and yeah, basically just that goes in a truck. This is the transporter that we've been using the last few years. We got spare car ready to go to Darwin. So this is in addition to the cars you've already seen today. It's ready to go. Seat, steering box, the diff and the front end's all upstairs. So basically we just pull that down if we're racing the next night, put the diff in it, put the front end in it, and it'll be ready to go. Obviously put a motor in it. Motors go under here. And yeah, we got like a shock dyno up in the corner there. High speed setter, aircon, Nick's bike. So he uses that to go and check the track. Some tracks, you know, are quite away from where the pits are, so we're just trying to make it easier so he can just race up there, have a quick look at the track, come down, do the changes he needs to do. And yeah, we got toolboxes. We actually fit quite a lot in this truck. So, front ends and rear ends are all in here. And all oils and whatnot.
Well, Dylan Menz, thanks for your time. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Dylan, just before we came on air, I've shown viewers excerpts of the latest video that you put out of the revamped race shop and the revamped race transporter, and you've got a time machine there that's been featured on that. Pretty impressive stuff.
Yeah. It's come along well. We've come a long way in the last few years that we've been back in the sport. So, just want to keep getting better and always improving our race team. So.
Yeah. Now, talking about improving, and I noticed on a report that I read that you've going to close down, or you have shut down your speed car operation to concentrate on 410s. I mean, that's a real commitment to improve on 410s, because I know speed cars are a bit of a love of your life and exciting cars to drive for you.
Yeah. I just sort of had to put my, I was always torn between the two, and I just had to put my foot down and make the decision. And whilst it was a hard one, I just think that, me being focused on the 410 would definitely elevate my race craft, hopefully. I always feel like when I did double duties and whatnot, I would always seem to go well, but it's very stressful to prep two completely different cars, two teams, and then make sure everything runs like clockwork on the night. Like, I'm very particular with how everything runs, and to manage that, and then to make sure everything's safe on both cars and ready to go, it does make it hard. So I just thought it's just time. We're getting better in the 410, and I think that if we can just put all our focus into that, then hopefully we can be running at the front, quite regularly.
Have you sold the speed car, or have you still got it in the shed and it's there if you ever want to get back to it again? Or is it where you're at with that?
Nah, so the engine's sold. The trailer and all the spares are sold. So we pretty well just have a roller sitting there, which as a lot of people would have seen, we did advertise it. It is quite an elite package, so it's not a cheap thing. So it's something that's only a select few will appreciate the value of it, I guess. So it's at the moment it's sitting on my mezzanine, and I'm pretty happy looking at it. It's one of the nicest cars I've built. So I'm happy to sit it there, and then at the end of the day, if in a few years' time I can just go and sit in it or whatever and just reminisce. But I think the speed car just that chapter needs to be closed for me. Just being being a dad and a business owner and everything, it just gets a bit much running too. So I think just the focus will turn to the 410 now.
Well, look, having said that, it's a big commitment you've made, and Con Migro and I often say, in our view, that you have to be in this business for about 5 years to get on top of 410 racing, and you're about there. You're concentrating fully on 410s now, so the commitment you've made, the race shop, the program that you've set for yourself, you're ready to pounce on the big league, in my view.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And the things in the background we're always testing things, and I've really focused on my health and my mental health this year, as I was last year as well. But I think this year, just making sure that everything is sharp. Like, I'm in the gym a lot, running a lot, have a personal trainer, have a dietitian. I'm not doing anything by halves. Like, it's all in or nothing, basically, which is how I've always lived my life, really. Nothing's done by halves, and anyone that's watched any of the videos of my shed stuff, it's kind of like, okay, that's a bit wild, but it's just how it's always been. So it's all in or nothing.
Yeah. Just tell me, I've looked at your calendar, and we'll have a look at that in more detail in a moment, but you do a lot of meetings and a lot of travel, or this year in particular you have. Our guys over here in Perth, 25, 30 meetings, and I notice Ryan Newton's in the US this season. He's probably going to do 85, 90 meetings. So you get a lot of experience in one season doing what Ryan's doing and what you intend to do on 26, 27 year.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to do. Like the last few years, we tried to go to all the different tracks, and we're building a notebook as a team now. So for us, the more that we can go to different tracks, the more that you can, you know, you learn things every night. You think you might know something, and then this happens, and then you've got to change it, and then you go, okay, will that work at this track, or why don't we try it? Why don't we see if that works
Yeah.
tomorrow? And it's I think it's good racing back to back, and with what Wade's doing with the Power Tour and also Speed Week, all different tracks, all in a short period of time. You can, if you make a mistake, you're not dwelling on it for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, waiting for the next race meeting. You're sort of straight back into it, no mucking around. So your mindset has to be pretty bang on, I think, to be able to run at the front. And obviously, like the guys that are running at the front, their mindsets are they're able to win anywhere they go. So yeah, we just got to be able to put that into my head. So if we're running good, then hopefully that starts building as the years go on, that we're able to be competitive everywhere. We've got a notebook, and we know that the car's going to be within the window wherever we go.
Mm, mm. Now, starting that campaign off, you're up to Darwin for Chariots of Thunder. I guess you leave in a week or two there. How's the preparation going for all of that?
Yeah, good. So we fired the motor up today, so that's a good thing to have done. That only just flew in last week from Ryder in America, and our spare motor is actually still coming now. So we don't even have a spare until literally, I think, Friday. The truck leaves Sunday to go to Darwin. So we've had to fly the motors in to be able to have them in time to start the season. So yeah, it's quite stressful, but yeah, we're ready to go. The cars are good. Everything's in the truck. Everything's, all the spares are done. It's yeah, preparations is good. Just waiting on motors now.
Now, Dylan, talking about motors, I've spoken to a couple of guys in the US, and they're really struggling because it's well into their season now. They're really struggling to maintain their engine programs and have enough engine to send some away for refresh. Is the same thing happening here in Australia?
I think a lot of Australian teams are going to American motors, or it seems to be the trend. And I think when you do that, you have to have, I think, a minimum of 4 motors to be able to do that. So for us, we have 2 riders at the moment, and we've got to sort of build it up over a couple of years. So it's normally a 2-year wait to get a brand new motor from Ryder because of they're so well sought after that you've got to be on the waiting list. So for us, like we ordered 2 new ones in September last year, so nearly 12 months ago. So we've still probably got another 6 to 12 months before we're going to have that 4 motor program. So this year we're kind of banking on everything going okay. And if we hurt a motor, we're in a little bit of strife. So we'll be scrambling to get another one if that does happen, which is unfortunate, but we're just playing the waiting game so that we can have a couple of brand newies in a year or so.
Mm. And when you're talking about using, Don Otto, Ryder, or whatever engines you're using out of the US, what's the turnaround for engine refresh and that sort of stuff?
So it's normally about 3 months if you fly it in and out. So this season, as soon as we finished the season in April, we had the motors out and we went through Midwest Imports, which is Paul Farrell, and he flew the motors directly to Ryder, so they go door to door from our workshop to Ryder over there, and then about a 3 month turnaround, and then you're flying them back. So as I said, I only got one back last week, and then because of the Knoxville Nationals, and obviously they're focusing on those big teams that are running the Knoxville Nationals, we sort of just our second motor had to just sit there for a little bit before they could dyno it, and then as soon as Knoxville Nationals was over, they were able to get it on the dyno and in the box so that we could get it picked up. So it's currently on a plane to Sydney or Melbourne now, and then it's got to go through customs and then come up to Queensland. And our backup plan is actually, if it doesn't get here by Friday, it's going to continue up to Darwin so we can actually collect it while we're up there. So yeah, it's a pretty wild operation, really.
And talking about engines, Jason McIver the other week in an interview I did with him indicated that some Australian guys in particular were having trouble with mag or ignition boxes
Yep.
using Chinese parts in them and a few failures. You managed to short circuit that, so to speak?
Yeah, touch wood. We haven't had any. I think we had an issue maybe with our mag, like the distributor, at one point last year at the Classic, funnily enough. But I don't think we've had any major issues. Like all our stuff gets rebuilt when the motor gets rebuilt. So every 20 to 25 shows, everything's replaced anyway. But fingers crossed that's not occurring in our mags, I guess. But I guess we'll find out. Only one way to find out.
Is that what you're doing? About 20 shows before you have a refresh?
Yeah, around 20 shows is what we try to keep it. And around that 15 show mark, we'll start leaking the motor down a bit more intensely. So, every show we'll put the leak down tester on the cylinders and make sure it's still okay. And, the guys at Ryder are really, really good to deal with. So I just email them or message Brandon and he'll let me know, this is okay or that's not okay. Probably send it back. So
okay.
yeah, it's it's a good system.
Yeah. Now I'm just going to put the calendar up in a moment, but I see the Australian Championships are up there in Toowoomba, so that will suit you down to the ground, and you've got a few meetings there in what have you got, September and October before November, the Australian Championships. So you're going to be pretty well dialed in before November in the Australian Championships, aren't you?
Hopefully, yeah. So Darwin this year for us, like we've been the last 2 years, but this year for us is really just defining or refining, I should say, our package to go to Toowoomba and have the best chance at obviously being competitive at the Australian title. And then we've got I think it's the Thunder on the Downs, 2 weekends in a row. So that's 4 nights before the Australian title. And I think there's another 2 nights of USC before we get into that Australian title week. So plenty of time to try the last few things and get the car dialed in, and hopefully everything's good for me and I can wheel the thing good and be up there at the end.
Well, as we speak, I've got the calendar on the screen here for viewers, and as you say, there's quite a few meetings there to dial in. Toowoomba in September, October, and then a lead up, prelude to the Australian title. So, as you say, that'll be a good one. But you're banking those meetings up one on the other, aren't you? You've only got a week between some of those meetings, so you've got a bit of travel in between.
Yeah. So I think Darwin, when like Dad will be driving the truck, so he'll basically leave Darwin and he won't even come home. He just goes straight to Toowoomba, and then we straight into that first meeting at Toowoomba. And then same with straight after the Australian title, the truck leaves the next day pretty much for Adelaide. So it's pretty wild. So that's why we've sort of built a few cars and we've got everything sorted. So if things do go pear-shaped, we can, not be scrambling around. That's what I don't want to be doing. So we've tried to pre-prep, even though you don't want to think the worst, but, sometimes it happens. So you just got to be prepared for every scenario.
We'll take a quick break and we'll be back right after this. Don't go away.
At Maddington Toyota, we're all about great deals, value, quality and service. Head to our website for quality new, demo and pre-owned vehicles with videos so you can find your perfect car. We can organise the details by phone and email and deliver the car right to you. Check out the entire Toyota range, plus a huge selection of pre-owned vehicles, all backed by our real commitment to great service. Maddington Toyota, great deals and great service. Oh, what a feeling.
Welcome back and thanks for watching. We'll go back to our video with Dylan Menz online from Queensland. Got a huge January, as I said, but then comes February, you've got a trip planned to Perth for the Barbagallo Nationals, the Midweek Mayhem and the Cricky Boys Shootout, which is 5 days of racing in 9 days and plenty of money on offer, so that should be a good one for you.
Yeah, looking forward to coming back to Perth. We went there a couple of years ago and didn't necessarily have the best run. Like we caught on fire there, had a couple of crashes and run out of parts and whatnot, but we pushed through and got that swing done. And then last year just didn't work out for us. Our crew chief was having a baby, so he had to be home in that time of February, and we just decided, well, we'll leave that out this year and go home and regroup after the classic. And then we ended up coming out for the Red Hot Shootout and those last few USC rounds in Toowoomba, and we're actually quite good. We were sort of in the top 5 every night, so really showed that going down south and doing all those races over Christmas and January helped me and obviously the car. So yeah, I think it was a good stint.
Well, talking about USC, you actually won that last time around in April, did you not?
Yeah, we won the last round. Yep.
Yeah. That must have been a good feeling to finish the season off on a high like that, and then all the workshop stuff you've done, the revamping, you're off to a good start for this season, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. That last show was good. We were definitely fast most of the night. I still think we needed to be better to win. It was sort of a last lap dash, and I just feel like I need to improve a little more and have my racecraft. Sort of my theory is how do I make that last lap? How do I do that every lap? Like, how do I make that happen? If you watch the replay, it was only the last lap that I led, and I just feel like it was cool. It was definitely good to get a win. I'm not complaining about that, but I definitely think I need to be better to beat the guys like Lockie and Jock and all that. So still working on it, and hopefully come out swinging this year.
Well, as Kyle Larson says, the last lap's the money lap. So it doesn't matter what you do for the last or for the first 34 laps or whatever. The last lap's the one that counts for the money.
No, right.
I've just got on the screen now, getting back to Perth. You had a bit of mayhem over here last time around. Not last season, the season before. You wrecked the car and then you caught on fire. Luckily, the car landed on its right side, so you were able to get yourself out up through the left-hand side. But it must have been a pretty scary moment for you.
Yeah, it was. I've never been on fire before, and that was a bit of an eye-opener for me. And definitely, we've put some measures in place, like we've got a fire bottle and whatnot for this year. So we're going to put that in the car. And yeah, it definitely wasn't nice. And anyone that gets burnt in one of these things, like I didn't even get burnt, and I was stressing. It was it was hot, and it was not good. And I actually got out of the car with my steering wheel still on. My steering wheel was a little bit bent, so that was pretty wild when I look back at it and went, if I just calmed down and I just sort of took a breath and took my steering wheel off and started cracking my belts, I wouldn't have been stuck in there for so long. But in those scenarios, you're just like, how do I get out? Hot. I'm trying to get out of this. And then, thankfully, it was just sort of like once I got up on top, I sort of didn't know whether to roll backwards or forwards, and I didn't know sort of what was happening. And then thankfully, when I rolled off the back, looked like a bit of a monkey sort of thing. But old mate, one of the track officials there, he caught me, and then I sort of it was just one of those things, that raw emotion and just sort of bit of a sort of eye opener for me, I think.
And you weren't happy with Learising around, catching on fire. You then stripped your clothes off for the crowd.
I don't think there's a video of that, but I literally was in I think I had my shirt off and everything, and the ambulance was pouring water over it. I was positive that I was burnt bad, but it was sore. But then in the end, it wasn't even like a big burn or anything. So I was just like, man, you just imagine what it's like being properly burnt. I couldn't even put into words what that would feel like.
Well, it just shows the safety equipment in these sprint cars these days are pretty good, with the harnesses, the seats, the protection you've got, and the driving suits and so on. That's a good thing about all of that. And you know that you can get out pretty quick if you have to. And in that instance, the track officials were onto the job pretty quickly, so it was all worked out nicely. Yeah,
they were very good over there. They were straight onto it, and unfortunately, they ended up bringing out the rule with the high speeds and that not being able to be on the tank because of that incident. And I think a few people think that I was trying to push for that, but I definitely wasn't. I was happy having my high speed up there, and then unfortunately, with just because a car drove over the back of me, it sort of knocked the high speed off, and that actually the as I was rolling, I had my foot on the brake, and the sparks actually lit the fuel up that was coming out of the tank. So that was the problem. And so they've changed the ruling now, and you got to have your high speed and your fueling system down on your leg. And don't necessarily think that's the best place to put it either, to be honest. I've had a few instances where it's come loose and I've had a bit of a wet leg, and I'm like, oh no, here we go.
Now, talking about the Perth track, 500 metre clay bank track, how do you like it? Fairly high speed. Does it suit your driving style? You tend to get after it a bit, and you seem to like the higher speed on the big 500 metre track.
I think so. I when I first went there to Perth, I was in the Trevor Jolly 18 car. That was the year. I think that was 2023, maybe. Maybe, I can't remember. 2023, I think. Came over and drove that car, and I was just comfortable straight away, and we were fast. Like I thought. We won a heat race against some good guys, and then finished in the top 10, I think, in A, and on our first run there, and then obviously went to Bunbury, and unfortunately fractured my back. And then went over in my own car the year after, and that was unfortunate, but all part of the learning. It's definitely, you got to be on the fence there, and it's fast, as you said. So I'm hoping to go back there with a bit more knowledge under my belt. I think that, say, Tolma track, I really like that. So, and I'm hoping that what we've found there will work over there in Perth with a bigger track. And, the car's good, and my fitness is good, and everything is still cracking in February, and then we can get some good results.
Talking about Perth, I was fortunate enough to interview Rico Brew here in Perth, and he said to me at one time, you've got to race yourself. I mean, what he was saying is your mind's got to be spot on. You've got to be thinking just about your racing. Then he said you've got to race the track. So you've got to look at the track conditions, where the juice is, where you can run. And then he said you've got to race your competitors. And when you analyse it like that, that's pretty right. If you haven't got a clear mind, you've got no hope. If you're racing competitors and worrying about they are and not looking at the track, you haven't got any hope. So you've got to put the three together. And that's what comes out of all of this experience, isn't it? You've got to gain that experience over a number of tracks, a number of years. And as I said earlier in the introduction of this program, I think you are there right now with what you've put into the sport and where you're at.
Well, obviously Rico is one of the best, and it's interesting to put it like that. I haven't actually watched that video, so I might have to go back and watch that. But that's a good way to put it. I think that it is very important for all those things, and putting it all together is the hardest thing as a up and coming driver, and it costs a lot of money to get to that point, and before you start winning prize money. So before you attract the sponsors, you've got to be perfecting your craft in all those ways that, like you just mentioned, all the things, reading the track, your crew chief and you have to gel well, I think, as well. And then obviously, as you said, you need to know who you're racing. So you might be slide jobbing with someone with one person and know exactly what they're going to do after you've been racing them for a few years, or you might get someone new and go, I don't know what this guy's going to be doing. So you just got to adapt quickly, I think, is the biggest thing.
Now, I was also going to get to you because of the huge program. You've got this season 26-27 starting in Darwin and all points in between, including Adelaide and across here to Perth and back again. I think you're doing the Classic or something on the way back again. So
Yep.
How does your budget go now with increased fuel costs and those sort of things? You've factored all of that in. It's an additional cost to an already expensive sport, isn't it?
Yeah, no, definitely. It's I just work harder, really. I don't try not to think about it. I try not to think about it. I just yeah, do a little more and build my business a bit, and sell a few more dongers, and that just offsets it. I think that the costs are, yes, they are very insane. Like so when you look at all of that combined, for me, paying an extra 50 cents a litre, don't know, maybe ask me at the end of the season. Right now, I'm like, it'll be fine, we'll be right. But at the end of the season, when we work out how much we've spent, I don't know, maybe I'll have a different view. But right now, I'm just trying to take it all in and get as much experience as I can, and yeah, I just want to travel around and race. That's what I've always wanted to do. That's what I've been building my whole life to do. And like, I'm 30 now, so I've spent enough time doing it, and I just want to spend at least the next 10 years trying to chase what I wanted to do when I was growing up. So that's that to me. Doesn't worry me. The money I can keep making, but the time that I have to be at my best, which I feel like is coming up in the next few years, then that's what I need to focus on.
And Dylan, just talking about prize money and all of those sort of things, it doesn't go very far if you're not on the winners list, I know. But and talking about fuel, has methanol risen the same percentage as ordinary diesel and petrol?
I think it has gone up a little. I got an invoice the other day for a drum, like 4 drums of methanol, and I think it was about $200 or $300 extra, maybe overall for 4 drums. So
yeah, not too bad.
Yeah, so you might be looking at $100 a drum or something like that, maybe. So, I mean, I feel like you probably use that in a night or just under, but so yeah, maybe $80 a night extra, which is maybe the price of admission for someone. So it's here nor there for a team that's preparing to go on the road like we are. Something that I have to look past, really. That's just the tool that's needed to go racing for me. And if you're not happy to spend $80 extra on the drum, then you're not going to go racing, are you? So for me, I just, like I said, ask me at the end of the season. No, the wallet might be full of butterflies by the end. I don't know.
Now, talking about Menz Trading and Hire, you're managing that business as well. How are you coping when you're on the road racing and trying to fit your business commitments in as well?
Yeah. Well, I got a couple of guys that work for me, so and then in the hire fleet, I manage that. So yeah, I just do it on the road. Like I'll organise the equipment and whatnot, and if people need to call me, they know they can call me, and I just answer the phone whenever. So if we're racing on a Friday, if someone's ringing me at 3 o'clock just before driver's brief, and I'm answering the phone and I'm making sure they're all good. But yeah, then on Saturdays and Sundays, I sort of have my phone off, and then same thing Monday, straight back to it. And then if anything needs to be done, I just give the boys a call, and they'll prep a building ready to go, and I'll just book in the transport for that building to go out or whatever. And yeah, it's all sort of done remotely anyway. Like I don't have to be there physically. I can organize everything, and everything sort of works like clockwork. We have a good system, and same as the race team, we have a good system. So the only way to do things is with that. Have systems in place, otherwise you just go nuts, really.
And the last thing I just wanted to touch base, and it's not drastically important, but I noticed in the video that I played for viewers prior to you coming on air, had your tyre machine there where you can inflate the tyre without putting it on a rim and measure the circumference. And the question I wanted to ask you is, can you groove on that same system as well while the tyre's inflated?
Yep, definitely.
Yeah.
I grooved 17 tyres the other day. I got a blister to prove it. But yeah, so that's exactly what it's used for. So basically, same as what you would have seen on the video, it just gets put on, the plate goes on, and then you pump it up to your pressure. So and then you just can groove it as you would if it was on the rim. So yeah, it's a pretty cool thing. And then groove sight, roll out at tyre pressure, write the tyre pressure on, take it off, put the next one on, and yeah, that's there just so that I think there's like 13, I don't even know, I haven't counted, but maybe 13 bolts or something on a bead lock that you've got to undo and do back up if you were to put it on and off a rim, break the bead. So it just saves a lot of time. I feel like you might save 10 to 15 minutes per wheel. And when you're doing like 17 to, 30 tyres at a time, that builds up to be a lot of time that you're saving. So it's worth the investment.
Mm. Well, Dylan, it's been fun to talk to you. Thanks for your time, and very best wishes for your trip to Darwin and, of course, the 26-27 season. And we certainly look forward to seeing you over here in Perth, and hopefully a change of fortune, you get amongst the winner's circle.
Yeah, hopefully. And, hopefully we catch up in Perth when I get over there. And, be a good to get back there, and bring in the family this time. So we'll go for a bit of a holiday as well and get into the racing. That'll be good fun.
Well, Dylan Menz there. We wish him every success for his trip to Darwin for the Carrots of Thunder event. We also wish him every success for the 26-27 sprint car racing season here in Australia. And certainly we look forward to having his presence here at the Perth Motorplex for the Barbagallo Nationals and the Cricky Boys Shootout in February. That's the program for today. Thanks for your company. We'll see you next time right here on Talking About Speedway. Bye for now.